Welcome, Red, to the 100% United pod. I'm your host, TC, and I'm joined by your co-host, Scott. Hello, mate. How you doing?
Good, thank you, pal. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Premier League back this weekend. Can you believe it?
Can't wait. NFL season back on Thursday.
Man of many sports. On today's show, we check in on all the Manchester United players on international duty. We dig through the latest transfer rumours and news. Then we answer some of our listeners' questions that you guys have been sending in. First, though, Scott, let's start with Mason Greenwood. I was going to start with the positives and his debut for England over the weekend, but the news has gathered speed today, and it turns out Mason Greenwood has been sent home from the England camp after breaching the regulations inside their bubble at the England team camp. What do you make of it from the outside, Scott?
Unbelievable, huh? Only had Giggsy's number a week and he's already smashing everything in sight.
You stole my line.
Oh, I got it.
I was going to say, look, we've had George Best, we've had Ryan Giggs. I mean, Adnan Januzaj and Anthony Martial sling it about too. And now the heir apparent to the number 11 shirt has arrived. Yeah, unbelievable stuff, eh?
Doing him proud.
Look, he's an 18-year-old lad. Apparently what's happened is he's met up with Phil Foden of Man City, who's, I believe, 19, so Mason's 18. They've met up with a couple of girls from Iceland, and yeah, they've been doing what they're doing. One of the girls said, I've been in a relationship with one of them for a few days. I'm not sure how that works out, but it seems that, yeah, they've been having a bit of fun on duty, but it's against the rules. Look, he has been sent home, which he'll be massively disappointed about. It's obviously a massive blot on his copybook. Yeah, the only big question mark now is that will he have to quarantine when he gets back to the UK? I'll be a lot more annoyed about the story if he does have to for 14 days.
I'm reading he doesn't, so which is a good thing, but it's completely up in the air at the moment, right? No one really knows. It
is indeed. Look, he is an 18-year-old lad. We stuck by Harry Maguire. Look, we've had two players now, haven't we? Harry Maguire was withdrawn from the camp. Now Mason Greenwood's been sent home. If Ollie ever wanted an opportunity to create a siege mentality in Manchester United like Fergie used to love to do, this is his chance.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And Wan-Bissaka not being involved either, get rid of him.
Look, I think the good thing with Mason Greenwood, he'll have a very good person to turn to, and Harry Maguire's had to deal with so much more over the last few weeks. It might just be that everything's gone right for him, hasn't it? Mm-hmm. Everything's gone right for Mason Greenwood. The world at his feet, everything he touches turns to gold or goals, and you just think that this might just be that leveller, just to keep him on that straight and narrow. He hasn't committed any crimes. He hasn't done anything too bad. He's an 18-year-old kid, bored out of his mind, probably stuck in his room, and he's got a couple of Icelandic beauties. And yeah, I mean, take yourself back to when you were 18, mate. I mean, what would you have done?
Oh, if I could have got girls to my hotel room by the click of a phone, I mean, probably would never have left. Yeah, you got to remember as well that this is COVID regulations, right? These are rules that are just completely exponentially stricter than they usually are. And any other time, this would be a complete non-factor.
Yes. And I guess that's on one hand, you'd say, yeah, you understand. On the other hand, it means that quite a few people are going to be throwing barbs at him because lots of people are up in arms, obviously, about this whole thing, and everyone's had to deal with massive upheaval in their lives. So, look, as we said with Harry Maguire, we stick by our own. I'm not about to dig Mason Greenwood out for doing this. It's stupid. He pays the price more than anyone. Look, he's going to be in a United shirt in a couple of weeks' time, and that's going to be great. He misses out on his second cap, which to him is going to hurt him more than anyone, really.
Yeah, but if Southgate's only going to give him 10 minutes again, then I'm glad he's going to get an extra few days with the squad. I do actually think it's beneficial for Mason that he was caught with Foden. I think if it was just him, it would be maybe a bit more stricter consequences. But given that it's two of them, they're maybe going to be a bit more lenient, given that those two are going to be integral for the England team, probably at next year's Euro 2021.
You're right, and Mason Greenwood is single, and Foden's got a long-term girlfriend, a couple of kids. So if anyone's returning to the doghouse, it's not going to be Mason.
But the video, I mean, it's showing them playing Snake on their phone. They're not playing Snake in the bed, are they?
No, they're not. But if you look at the foot of the video, you see a pair of legs, don't you, in their bed. So she's obviously She's obviously resting up. They're playing on their phones, and she is in the bed taking the video from there.
So they've got their tracksuits back on.
Mate, you know what I thought? I thought fair play to Mason. Then when I saw the video, I thought, what you doing, mate? Playing on your phone when you've got a lovely girl in your bed. Come and sort it out, pal, you know? So, yeah.
I mean, she was having a great time. She was laughing away by her caption. She was loving it. Yeah. I think this is a bit of a sting, mate, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think this is something that's put forward by the English press because there hasn't been a lot of negative press other than Harry Maguire to do with the England squad, you know?
It's back to the old days, isn't it? United boys causing all the havoc.
No one's in a dentist chair. Come on.
Yeah, look, we're gonna have a giggle about it. It's not the biggest deal ever, and Mason will be fine, I'm sure. Look, he did make his debut against Iceland for England, 1-0 win for England. How do you think he did? He was only on for just over 12 minutes.
Well, it was tough really because he came on. We were down to 10 men already, or England were down to 10 men already. So, but I actually think he did pretty good. He had some good touches, had one good shot on goal that resulted in a corner. I just wish he could have been given an extra 20 minutes. He brought Danny Ings on to play through the middle for 15 minutes extra, and that kind of wound me up. Yes,
we thought we'd see a little bit more of Mason. But look, he's come back unscathed, and he'll be fit and raring to go for the season for us. And that's all we care about, isn't it? With us, we are United fans first and foremost over any country or anything like that. So, look.
Yeah, and we've also got good history with players who come back from international duty having maybe come back under a cloud with a bit of something to prove. Maybe he's going to get 25 goals this year. Never know.
I wouldn't be surprised, mate. As I said, I expect a big season for Harry Maguire and I expect Mason Greenwood to fly out of the traps now too. Although I think he will return to a dressing down from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's a nice opportunity. I'm sure Ole hasn't had too many opportunities to, drill some of his ethos home to Mason Greenwood, probably because Mason's been such a good lad. But this is a chance just to drill that home early on in his career. So I'm sure Ole will take that opportunity. Look, another player who has had his ups and downs and is back now on the international stage, Anthony Martial, back in a French shirt. You must have loved to see that, Scott.
Yeah. Was he on 5 minutes before he won a penalty?
Yeah, we've got a few penalty getters these days, haven't we? I think Donny van der Beek grabs a few penalties.
Pretty dodgy challenge from Lindelof, though, if you ask me.
He was never catching him, was he? He knew he was never catching him.
Yeah.
And look, he pushed him into the keeper. He didn't want to smash him, did he? Fair play to Victor.
No. Yeah.
He did as much as he could without jeopardising Anthony Martial's health. So big up to Lindelof for that, I must say. Look, just the 13 minutes from Martial, but I'm hoping tomorrow night he will get a lot more minutes because, look, he looked pretty sharp when he came on, didn't he?
He did, definitely.
And Victor Lindelof actually grabbed the man of the match, the Swedish man of the match, for that game. So despite his misdemeanor at the end, the Swedish guys gave him the man of the match. So, look, Donny van der Beek was a sub for Holland in their win. Apparently he's going to be a sub again tomorrow night. Didn't have too much of a chance to make an impact. He isn't a regular starter for Holland. It was well known in the Koeman years that Wijnaldum was his absolute favourite, and he always played Wijnaldum. So, look, it's for us again. I don't want him running to the ground. I'm quite happy him having another 20 minutes tomorrow night, and then going from there. Yeah,
I completely agree. With the season only being 10 days away, I'm now hoping that our players don't play in these fixtures. These are absolutely meaningless fixtures. Yeah. Just because they've got to name the Nations League on it, they're still just fancy friendlies, right?
Yeah. Look, Scott McTominay started for Scotland, played the full 90 minutes. Is he trying to wear every single number he possibly can for Scotland? I think he's worn about 5 or 6 already. Look, he started as the right of the 3 centre-backs, wearing the number 2 shirt in a 1-1 draw with Israel. And he did pretty well as well. I saw him throwing himself about in the box there. Probably not a long-term solution. I believe I've seen him play there for United, possibly under Jose back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, we all remember that, right?
Herrera played centre-back for United under Jose, didn't he? So
yeah. I actually think it's a pretty good shout. I mean, for the last 20, 30 minutes of a game that we're winning, to bring McTominay in to come and shore up the right side of the defence if he wants to bring it into a back 5 is fine by me.
Yeah. Well, look, it's always when a player is growing as a player, I like to see them play other positions and just learn about that position and he was his usual blood and thunder self. So, yeah, an interesting one there. Daniel James played another 90 minutes and looked sharp again in a 1-0 win for Wales. Dylan Levitt was on the bench, unused sub. But Daniel James has a good couple of games, and he was in Carrington this morning already. He played last night, back in training this morning. So that was great to see from Daniel James.
Yeah, that's what you want to see, right? That's what you want to see. Can I predict a cheeky squad number change for McTominay from 39?
Oh, if you want.
I'm going to say he's going to get number 16.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's going to go number 16.
That's an interesting one. They didn't announce it, of course, when they moved Mason Greenwood and Brandon Williams to 11 and 33. But, of course, Marcos Rojo hasn't officially left the club yet, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So you're banking on in the next sort of, 9 days. I suppose, actually, we're probably going to have to hand in our squad numbers, aren't we, this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, he lost his number 5 when he was on loan, right? So there's nothing to say he's going to keep the number 16 either.
You're right. I think it must be this week when we hand in our squad numbers because, of course, the Premier League starts this weekend. So we will find out soon, Scott. You've been good with your numbers recently, so we'll see how that goes. Bruno Fernandes starred for Portugal in their 4-1 win against Croatia. Grabbed an assist. It wasn't much of an assist, to be fair. It was a pass. But he had 86% possession, 7 key passes, 1 interception, 4 tackles, 3 out of 3 dribbles. And he was playing, because, of course, João Felix played. He was playing a little bit more withdrawn. And with the signing of Van der Beek, it was quite nice to see him in that role.
Yeah, really suited it, right?
It did, indeed. And look, these are the options we're going to have. And a team can be preparing for Bruno in the attacking midfield position. And they get surprised, and Van der Beek's up there, and you've got Bruno as a number 8, or maybe Pogba playing and Bruno rested. Not being able to prepare for a midfield guarantee of Bruno and Pogba is definitely going to benefit us this season.
Yeah, it is. He won man of the match, right?
Yeah.
He got a bottle of champagne and a newborn baby.
He did indeed, a little boy.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
It was. He finished the game and then dashed across Porto for the birth of his kid. So pretty decent night for Bruno, all things considered.
Yeah, maybe he gives that bottle to his missus.
I'm sure, to be honest with you, mate, he's going to have another 25 bottles from you this season, isn't he? So,
and the rest.
Dishing them out. Yeah. Look, David De Gea continued his riposte to Dean Henderson's challenge with a clean sheet against Ukraine. Spain won 4-0, bagged a clean sheet and ended the game as skipper when Sergio Ramos went off. The skipper armband went on to David De Gea. Pretty good a few days' work for David De Gea after all eyes were on him and the pressure was on him. He's replied pretty well, which bodes well for the start of the season.
It does. And, you know, I've always said competition for places makes players so much better, and hopefully Dean Henderson coming in will kick him up the arse a bit.
Yes, he's hoping. Look, Dave and Bruno made the UEFA team of the round. Bruno was the third best rated player with 8.6 in the team. We're 28 days away from the transfer window shutting, and another player we kept our eye on, obviously, in that Spanish team is Sergio Reguilon. There's been rumours coming out in the last few days. Just today, one of the Andalusian newspaper guys said that Sevilla offered 20 million. United have offered 30 with a €5 million wage for Reguilon. Apparently, he is going to go back to Real Madrid training after this Spanish camp now, and he's removed Sevilla or any Real Madrid or anything off of his social media accounts. Now, look, he's obviously not going back to Sevilla as it stands. He is going to be training with Real, so it makes sense, the social media stuff. But the noises from the Sevilla press is something that is very interesting, considering not just the transfer fee was mentioned, but also the wage.
Yeah, it is. And one of the commentators was saying during the game last night that when he went to the Spanish camp and was speaking to them, he spoke to Thiago as well, and that there is actually a bid in for him from us and Liverpool.
Spot on. That's exactly. Yep, exactly. So for Thiago and then for Reguilon as well. So
for Reguilon as well. And we have to also say Reguilon did get injured last night, sprained ankle, might be out 2.5 weeks, something like that. So that might put that to the back burner.
Look,
if you're honest,
what he said, he came out today and he said, 1 small week, I'll be back as good as new. So he's saying, look, I'm fine. Maybe he wants to move. Look, he had a 96% pass completion, grabbed an assist, created 4 chances, 4 tackles, 8 recoveries. His choice of crosses in the attacking position was sensational. He pings a lovely crossfield ball as well. He overlaps. He's got pace. He's got a great touch. in defence and in attacking positions.
And he offers a great outlet for David De Gea as well. How many times did De Gea find him?
Yeah,
It's incredible.
He's whet my appetite for that for an addition out there. He really has. I would love that sign to come through. And like I say, the noises have been hotting up. One guy over in Spain today said that the choices are that he could potentially go back on loan to Sevilla. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that was ill-advised. But apparently Arsenal are also monitoring him as well. So look, it sounds like Real want to sell with a buyback clause. Look, Scott, I know I said before that I don't think we should go down that road of buyback clauses and all the rest of it. And I have to hold my hands up. I might be a bit stuck in the dark ages with that. You look at Bayern Munich and they've got two guys on loan and they've won the bloody treble. And they've obviously taken one now, and they got Perisic on loan, didn't they? In order to wait a season and get Leroy Sané in. They've got Sané, and they're probably going to keep Perisic too. What do you reckon? Are you coming round as well to thinking, look, if we have him for 2 or 3 years and sell him back for 50 million, then we've had a good player for 30 million. We get a 20 million euro profit.
Yeah, and it gives Brandon Williams another couple of years to develop, right? That's another good benefit from it. I am reading, though, that we're trying to negotiate a sell-on percentage instead of the buyback clause.
Yes.
Which would be much better, obviously.
It would be much better. Madrid are quite savvy, though, aren't they? And the one worry with this one is you remember the Morata one when he was at Juve, wasn't he? And then Real Madrid insisted he came back. He didn't want to come back, and then they flogged him off for a higher price in the end anyway. So it's a risky business. Look, if we're getting him for 30 and we say, look, the buyback is 50, 55, I might go for that. You've got to move with the times, and I don't like loans. I don't like these kind of things, but at the same time, and we have done it in the past. Look, Carlos Tevez was never actually a United player, was he? He was always on loan. So we won't mention Falcao, but that was a loan too. So, yeah, look, I'm pretty keen on this one, but there are another couple of names in terms of left backs too. Alex Telles has popped up again. Abola is saying his agent is in Manchester. He's another guy you've had your eye on for quite a while.
Yeah, pretty exciting. I mean, the more I'm hearing us getting linked with left backs, the more I'm thinking that Luke Shaw might be moved into a left centre back role.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, won't it? It'll be as one of the two. I'm not buying that Shaw can do that job, but as the left of the three, then he has.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, he has done that job. I don't know. Look, it depends, isn't it? Horses for courses. You want to be able to have different options for different games. And look, if we had a nice attacking left back as well, who bombs forward for those games when we really are not doing too much defending, and you've got someone of this pace of Reguilon who can get back, then it'll be a lovely option to have. In some of the games where you want to keep it a bit more tight, Luke Shaw can go in there, and look, Luke Shaw hardly ever is injury free, is he? He's always picking up one or two. So yeah, I would like the option. Another name has been mentioned: 21-year-old Vitaly Mikalenko. Manchester Evening News saying that we are interested in him as well. A left back from Dynamo Kiev, 8 caps for Ukraine as well. So he's a little bit of an outside bet. I can't say I've seen much of him, but they're reporting that today. So looks like we're in for a left back for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. Isn't it funny though that as soon as we get linked to a position like, we might need a left back, and suddenly we're linked to 3 players, right?
Yeah.
And then you conversely think about Sancho, where we're not being linked to any alternatives. It makes you think that is the only finger in that pie of that position. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look, the Manchester Evening News have said that left back, centre back, striker are positions we're all looking at, and then of course the Sancho one. We've had the centre back rumours, haven't we? Last week we've got the left back rumours this week. You're right about Sancho. The rumours in Germany have really quietened down. There's not much going on at all. The Bundesliga actually starts on the same day as we re-enter the fray, a week on Saturday. And the papers are saying we turned down Havertz. Kai Havertz, who's obviously gone to Chelsea, to go for Jadon Sancho instead. You'd think we've got to start making moves this week, haven't we? The Premier League starts at the weekend. Borussia Dortmund start again, like I say, in less than 2 weeks. So it's getting to crunch time with that now. I know we're positive. I know we've held on, but it really is crunch time now.
I think this is the week, TC.
Yeah?
I really do. Yeah, I do.
Good.
I think something's going to happen after this international break. Whether he goes back to Germany or not, I don't know. But I'm feeling positive this week.
I hope so, mate, because the Bale rumours have started again.
Oh God.
Yeah, can you believe it?
God. Yeah, I can.
Marca today have been saying that United are interested in Gareth Bale as a sort of similar deal like Bayern Munich did in terms of waiting for Leroy Sané and getting Bale in and waiting for next year for Sancho. But look, Barcelona are probably going to be losing Messi next summer, and they'll be sniffing around for a replacement. When that rumour popped up, I thought, oh, come on, guys, can you just get this done already?
If we don't get him this summer, I really worry we're never going to get him.
Yeah, I think that might be the case, Scott. Look, as you mentioned, the commentator in the match did mention about Thiago. It's looking like, at the moment, Barcelona want Thiago, Koeman wants Wijnaldum instead, and then if Koeman gets Wijnaldum, Liverpool are then going to step in to get Thiago. So it's a little bit of a merry-go-round there. Apparently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has spoken to Thiago, but he is asking for wages that are a little bit too high at the moment. So interesting that Ole's actually spoken to him, but we still look like outsiders to that deal, I think.
Yeah, but I think that could take a turn. I'm not saying that we're going to get him, but I think it's still that's going to be a saga.
Yeah, I think so. Look, we've got some listener questions later on, and there's a couple about the midfield, so we'll answer them later on. In terms of outgoings, apparently the Roma bid, which we were sort of sniffing at, weren't we, on the last pod, saying that's a bit low, isn't it? Apparently United think the same because they haven't answered to the bid, and Roma fear that United are holding on for a bit more. I think that's reasonable, to be fair, from the club.
I do too. Absolutely.
Yeah, look, Italian outlet Tutto Sport have come out with their latest Pogba rumours, and apparently he's not signed his deal with United because he wants to go back to Juventus.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah. Producing their weekly toilet paper again.
Yeah, let's not pay that much attention.
Yeah. Absolute nonsense, eh? Look, the under-23s have 3 forwards who are actually currently trialists at the club. They have been lacking a little bit in terms of a number 9 and numbers, and we're expecting James Garner and Dylan Levitt possibly to go out as well. So it might be beneficial to get some quality into that team because, as we said, we want to stay in that top division, don't we?
For sure. But I think we've got to try and strengthen our first team before we do anything down there.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, in terms of the EFL Cup, we're going to be heading south. We've been drawn away to Reading or Luton Town to be played in the week commencing 21st of September. One of our old favourites, John O'Shea, on the coaching staff at Reading. So it'd be nice to draw them instead of Luton. But this might be a chance to get some of those youngsters who might be going out on loan, potentially get them in for this game and then let them go out on loan because transfer window doesn't shut till the 5th of October.
Yeah, but we say that every year. And then he plays Pogba against Rochdale. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know what you mean. But hopefully, I think this year, if of any year, would be the perfect opportunity, right? We've got some real quality coming through. But nice to see Hannibal get some minutes as well. And the games are just going to be coming more thick and fast than ever before. So hopefully, especially with the fact that we can still send them out on loan and almost give them the carrot. Look, go out there, perform well, win the match, boys. And you've got another match to play.
Yeah, but I think we could see from the end of last season that we essentially have a whole first 11 in the first team that don't play, right? So those games are going to be big for McTominay, for Fred, for Lingard, maybe for Pereira if he's still around, for Dan James, Igalo.
Yeah,
it'll be nice to hopefully bring Mejbri or Levitt or Garner off the bench or something like that. But those games are going to be pretty important for those players too. Yeah.
So we'll see with that one. Look, just a quick word. Old Trafford saw some of our old greats out on the field just yesterday. Soccer Aid, of course, in an empty Old Trafford, not quite the same, but great to see, particularly Andy Cole back in a United. Back at Old Trafford, obviously in an England shirt, wasn't he? But he said it was one of his dreams to get back playing and to play at Old Trafford. So big up to Andy Cole because, of course, he's had a very bad time recently.
Yeah, wonderful to see him, right? Almost as good to see him as was to see Pat Evra. Oh man, did you see that skill he did?
I did indeed.
He still got it.
And Wes Brown was still getting stuck in as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. And Darren Fletcher.
Yeah,
good for them.
And Wayne Rooney with his manager's cap on.
Yeah, it didn't look quite right, did it?
Yeah. Yeah, so great play from Andy Cole. I still forgive you for pinching my pictures off Instagram and not giving me any credit. So it's all good, Andy. Look, just a quick word on the women's team. Drew 1-1 against the champions Chelsea. Leah Galton with a goal to equalise from Jackie Groenen's cross. As actually the first points they picked up out of the traditional top three in the women's game. City, Arsenal and Chelsea have shared the titles since 2015. Chelsea winning 3 of them. So United, of course, finishing 4th last season, but with an incomplete season, kind of trying to build and break into that top 3. So great stuff from them. Only 5 on the bench for United, though. 9 on the bench for Chelsea. They definitely need some more bodies, and there might be 2 experienced US internationals arriving from across the pond. Kristen Press and Tobin Heath are expected to arrive, both in their 30s. So it'll be good for the women's team to get that exposure in the USA, because, as you know, Scott, you're an expert on stateside. The women's game over there is massive, and any fans the women's team pick up might spread over to the first team too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a big demand for the US women's team out here, and I think it's also good to get some experience in that in the United team as well. I think
100%.
coming up to this first division now, it's going to be really tough to stay in it, and a couple experienced women like that would be great in the team. Yeah,
well, look, Press plays up front, and she's banged in goals all throughout her career. And Tobin Heath was described as the most skillful player, not just midfielder, but player in the USA, and she plays in centre midfield. So those would be 2 great additions, and like I say, that exposure and the expansion of the women's game would be a great addition to Casey Stoney's outfit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Look, we asked you on Instagram the other day if you had any questions for us. It's something we're going to start integrating into the show. Going to pick sort of 5 or 6 every week, probably. You did send in quite a few, so I've just selected a few from you from around the world. So I'll ping them over to Scott and myself and answer those. Thanks a lot for all of them, and here we go. At Luke Roycroft from New Zealand asked, should Ollie change our formation instead of relying on Matic to be an anchor? I'll also tie this one in with at Stretford and Russ, obviously from Russia. Our old friends from over there said, do we need Thiago to let Fred go? Opinion on the midfield needed. So in terms of that midfield, Scott, what do you think? Do we rely on Matic too much? Should we change our formation? And do we need Thiago?
It's a good question. Firstly, I think we've learnt that he's relied too much on this first 11, right? And then, as we saw from the last couple of games as well, especially that Fred played over Matic, that maybe his reliance on Matic has gone down a bit. I do think that he's trying to get the best out of Pogba and Bruno. So to have someone who's completely defensive minded is the way forward with that. It's going to be interesting to see. I think Thiago might change the way we play a little bit, but it could be for the better. Yeah,
I mean, when we first started after the restart, I was wondering whether we might try a diamond formation sometimes, wasn't I? Mm-hmm. We only saw sort of the glimmer of that possibly once for a part of the game, but not properly. Look, Mason Greenwood has come through as such an outlet on the right. We've obviously got Rashford and Martial as well. Those 3 almost, they pick themselves at the moment, don't they? And then with Bruno and Pogba, I agree. I think having someone to hold does benefit them. Although Paul Pogba has developed a different sort of level to his game in terms of maturity, and he is sort of willing to sit deep, isn't he? Mm-hmm. And if you're alongside a Fred, or if Thiago came in, of course we've got Donny van der Beek now as well. So options are the key, aren't they?
Yeah.
And keeping the opposition guessing, I think.
Yeah, and fluidity within the team, right? To be able to change formations within the game and not necessarily have to make substitutions.
Yeah, exactly. Look, at Nick Sanity 7 from India asked, where will Sancho play, left wing or right wing? I mean, in terms of that, I'll go for it. He played almost all of his youth team football out on the left, and he played for Borussia Dortmund quite a lot on the left too. He moved across to the right last season for Borussia Dortmund and just kept his standard and posted a hell of a lot of numbers as well. I would suggest, look, we've got Mason Greenwood on the right, we've got Rashford on the left, we've got Martial up top, who can also play on the left too. I would expect us to be switching between games, but I'd also expect us to be switching during the games, and Sancho popping up on the left and Greenwood switching from up front, and Martial switching and Rashford switching, and just keeping the opposition guessing all the time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Some of our goals, especially after the restart, you could see came from when Martial or Rashford switched with Greenwood.
Yeah.
Remember the first goal at home to Bournemouth when Greenwood scored over on the left, and as well at Brighton when he crossed over for Bruno. He's playing on the left there as well. I would say Sancho would be the reason he's so. We want him so much is because he could play so well on the left and the right for us and do such a great job, and through the middle as well. You even saw him playing for England yesterday, him just switching with Sterling left and right a few times a half, and it just makes it impossible for these fullbacks to pick them up.
Yeah, I totally agree. Look, at Downey316, he's from the British Isles. I couldn't quite work out if he's from, spends obviously quite a bit of time in Ireland as well, but we'll say British Isles because that incorporates everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He said, "Hi guys, excellent pods as always," which was nice. If we get Sancho in, where are we finishing?
Oof. Oh. Sad. Oh.
I tell you what, Scott. I tell you what. What we'll do is later in the week we'll do a pre-season predictions on our pod. All right. So we'll do, and hopefully we'll know a little bit more about the squad makeup, and we'll get back to that question and give ourselves a bit more time, shall we?
Yeah. My heart says one thing, but my head says another.
Yeah. Cheers for that question. We will get back to that. At El Guillo from Panama said the Upamecano signing should be our priority. Do you guys feel real interest from the club? I'll go first for that one. Look, he had a release clause, didn't he? He had a release clause all the world knew about, and Leipzig said we're either going to renew his contract or we're going to sell him. And they renewed his contract, and there's a release clause that comes into play next summer for 42 million. So if we were so interested, it seems bizarre to have waited, Scott.
It does, but I think that contract signing sort of came out of the blue, and it was to reward him for loyalty for next year, right? So I think he doubled his salary, and the release clause say the same. To be honest, it depends how much money we have for this one, right? But this could be a sneaky bid in January, I think.
Yes, yeah, might well be. I know you messaged me the other day, didn't you, saying that there's a potential if Upamecano was going to come in January. You think there might be a few little positional switches going on?
Well, I think Matic could play the left-sided centre-back. But then again, watching Upamecano for France the other night, he played on the right. So he's a right-sided centre-back. He's not really what we need. It just seems like a good opportunity, and we're snapping at it, right?
Yeah. What do you make of this modern day obsession with sort of we're after a left-footed centre back? You'd never hear that back in the day, would you?
No.
You'd never hear we're going for a centre back with a certain foot. And it seems that I mean
our best centre back pairing: Bruce Pallister, both right-footed; Ferdinand Vidic, both right-footed.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's funny, right?
And I know they say look, the centre backs split more often now, so it makes sense to have your stronger foot because you're passing down the channels there, but. To be honest with you, Vidic and Rio used to split as well. I don't buy it. I think it's a newfound obsession, and it boggles my mind. Everyone said, "Oh, left-footed centre back." To me, it's a nonsense.
Yeah, you're right. One of those things that Guardiola invented, and now everyone thinks it's gospel.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the third kit, the Dazzle Camo, is going to be out tomorrow, Scott. So I know you've got your blooming credit card ready. I'm sure you'll be wearing a full kit as always.
Jesus, no,
but Phoenix Haller from Denmark asked, what is your favourite United shirt ever? So I thought it would be an opportune time to talk positively about United kits rather than moan about the Dazzle Camo. What's your favourite? In fact, Scott, give me a home and away.
Well, favourite away shirt has to be the green and gold, right? Our first third kit in the Premier League.
Yeah.
So it's gone from best to worst in terms of third kit. I think that's got to be my favourite away kit. Although I did like the white one with the really thin red and black stripes that we beat Arsenal in the FA Cup semi-final in their invincible year. When Scholesy scored that goal. Yeah, I like that kit.
That was a cracking day, Scott.
Yeah, what a day that was. You were there that day, right?
No, I wasn't. I was actually in Paris.
Oh, right.
I was in Paris. I watched it with my old man and my brother, and we had a tear up that day.
Nice place to be. Yeah,
it was an early kickoff, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and we caused some havoc. It was it was a fantastic day.
Nice place to be. Yeah. Do you know? I think my favourite home kit. Oh, I don't know. Can I hear your favourite away kit before I get? Just give me another minute to think.
Of course, Scott. My favourite away is the black early 90s jobby sharp view cam, yellow numbers.
The Cantona kit.
Yeah. especially with the blue socks. I know you hated them.
Yeah, no, you're that Southampton day, with Eric Chip, naughty.
But yeah, I love that kit. Look, the green and gold was obviously a beauty. You've got the blue one with the pattern that everyone loves these days. Although you made an interesting point the other day, Scott, saying about the Dazzle camo, that if we won a big trophy in it, it would actually go down as an iconic kit.
It will be. I kind of remember back in the 90s, I mean, there wasn't the social media there was now, but people thought that kit was horrific.
Yeah, I remember.
That sky blue one. And now it's the most coveted shirt out there.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be the same with the Dazzle camo, although, I mean, a pair of Dazzle camo shorts around the house is definitely got to be done.
Yeah, look, I'll go first with my home kit. I've got a particular affinity with the 0607. The home shirt with the gold trim.
Yeah,
I love that shirt. I'll be honest with you, Scott. In the 90s, whichever home kit was out, I blooming loved. I loved to bits when it was out. You know, the original title winning shirt. I loved the one with Old Trafford in the pattern at the time, but now looking back, it looks a bit trashy.
Yeah, I did.
Of course, the two we had a home kit in the league, and then we had a home kit in the Champions League in '99.
Yeah, that Champions League kit has got to be very high up there.
It was pretty delicious, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
The 90s kits, they're classics now, and of course the trophies that came with them. But 0607, vintage year 2, and a lovely shirt.
Yeah, I might say the very first Adidas shirt we got was just beautiful in its simplicity, and I love that. But I also did like the one with the black chevron on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I really like that shirt. The one Scholesy scored in
at City.
The
late header.
Yeah, love that. See, the shirt to me, looking back on it, isn't just the design of the shirt, it's what we did in that shirt as well.
This is exactly, when I was thinking about the answer to this question, that's exactly what went through my head. And then your comments about the Dazzle camo popped up into my head. I thought, you were spot on. It is what you do. I mean, even the 0809 shirt, at the time, people...
The dodgy denim one? No, sorry.
No. 0708 and 0809, when we had the white stripe down the back that came off in the wash.
Yeah.
That at the time, people were saying, "Oh, it's all right," but it's a bit plain. It's you're not got enough black on it, not got enough white on it. And then we
the black version of that kit was beautiful. That even with that line down the back, I had Anderson 8 on that one.
Me too.
Yeah, did you really?
No, I had Ronaldo on the black, and I had Anderson on the red.
Oh, I had Tevez on the red, didn't I?
Oh, leave it out, mate. Get out. Go on.
but then my brother bailed me out. Actually, he got me the commemorative pack from Moscow, which had a shirt with the stitching done on it, so I could lay my Tevez one to rest.
Cracking stuff, mate. Look, we'll do one more question. We did have quite a few, so any I didn't answer today, or Scott didn't answer today, we'll do on the pods to come. We'll be doing a feat, just at the end. When we've got a bit of time. Matt Cowper from the USA asked, what's the best away ground you've experienced? Shall I go first?
Oh, yeah, you go first. Easy for you, right?
Look, it's not the best away ground, but the best away day was definitely that sunny day at the Hawthorns, Fergie's last game.
Oh, really? That's what you're going to say? I thought you were going to say Moscow.
Oh, well, I mean, is that an away ground?
Of course it is.
I don't know.
We've never played a game there since.
It's true. Well, look, we have definitely got Moscow in there. But in terms of an away ground where we were playing that team, I particularly loved the Hawthorns that day. You know what? Actually, I particularly loved a little wild card for you. Was the whole Holloway game.
Oh yeah,
it was in one of Louis van Gaal's years. In fact, Victor Valdez played in goal that day. Absolute bonkers day. But it was in the very early days of the Georgie Best Spirit in the Sky song. Mm-hmm. And we were wild that day as well. That was a proper away day, that one. And sometimes, Hull was not the most welcoming of cities. I think it was the city of culture that year as well, funnily enough. But yeah, that was a particularly good away day as well. I mean, look, you can talk about the big stadiums, the big nights, of course, Moscow. But I would say that those ones definitely stand out.
In the theme of that, then, I've got to say that best away ground was Villa Park.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that 99 semi-final, both of them, but the second one obviously was just so life-changing. It was Absolutely can never forget it. What's your worst though, TC? What's your worst?
My worst.
I know my worst like that.
My worst away day was the semi-final of the Champions League against AC Milan in the San Siro. It absolutely pissed it down with rain. I had to travel to another city in Italy and then get from that city in Italy to Milan, and then we got absolutely pounded. And yeah, I had to come back with my tail between my legs the next day. I had a bit of fun, but it was a humbling that night. But what I will say is it made us the team we were for winning in Moscow just a year later. So, but yeah, that was a bitter memory.
You see, that's the perfect example of why this question's so hard, right? Because 98% of people would go to the San Siro and think this is the most amazing stadium I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You went there and it's the worst day of your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Stuck behind the chain mail. They put big chain mail down the top tier there. So you're caged in. And don't worry about it. They kept us in for about 2.5 hours after the game. But I think if my memory serves me rightly, I think they showed a pretty decent classic United game on the screen.
All right, that's nice of them.
I think so. So we had something nice to watch. But yeah, it was a desperate day.
Upton Park, 95.
Oh, leave it out.
Yeah, we'll never get out of my memory. We're sitting there with my mum for some reason. The only game I ever went to with my old dear, and it was Upton Park, 95.
Mate, I remember. I can remember that day like it was yesterday. It's horrible, isn't it?
It's the worst.
Oh, mate, it was.
I remember the sound of the post when Andy Cole hit it.
Oh, mate.
It was right in front of us. I remember the sound of it. It was just, you can never get those memories out.
Didn't you go to that one with your old dear?
I did, yeah. The only game I ever went to with my old dear. I don't know why. My dad must have been out of town and he had 2 tickets. And it was one of the worst days of my life.
Absolute horror show.
And I was, 12, 13?
Horrible. Yeah. Just quickly, Scott, before we round it off, what's your best day at Old Trafford ever? Best atmosphere, best experience?
May 3rd, 93.
You beauty.
First time we won the Premier League, beat Blackburn 3-1. Giggsy, Paul Ince and Gary Pallister scored. Just, I mean, I've got goosebumps on my arm just talking about it. What about yours? I mean, I know yours. It's, go on.
Well, go on, have a guess.
It's Barcelona at home. Scholesy made your day.
He did make my day.
Yeah.
That was a belter of a day at Old Trafford, I must say. It was the atmosphere that night, the expectation, but also we were all tense, but we still drove the team on. It was an absolute cracker. Viva Ronaldo in full swing, and then knowing we had done it at the end, we're going to the European Cup final again. 9 years since we'd last been in it. That was a special day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, thanks for those questions. Look, you can fire them in on Instagram Messenger. You can fire them on Twitter, direct message us as well. Also, our email address is united100podcast@gmail.com. Fire them in from all those angles, because it is quite nice, and especially on the weeks when there isn't loads and loads of news, we'll answer a few more as well. So yeah, keep them coming.
Yeah, it's nice to get some good questions for once.
Here we go. Thanks for joining us again, everyone. Make sure you're subscribed to the 100% United pod on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your pods. Follow our Instagram @United100podcast and get on our Twitter too @United100pod. We'll be back later in the week. Until then, thanks for joining me again, Scott.
Thank you, TC.
Take care. Cheerio, Reds.
Ta-ra.